Ayo, welcome to CHGO Bets Daily, presented by DraftKings, America's top sportsbook. When you sign up, this is weird. I'm by myself here in Studio B. Kevin, producer, shout out to you, bud.
What up?
How you doing, man?
All right.
This is weird. Like the seats are all different. Sean's not here. He's in Vegas. He went to Vegas and didn't even tell me. I'm a little upset about him. As a fellow degenerate, I'm a little upset they didn't tell me, but he's in Vegas. I hope, for his sake, because I'm a nice guy, I hope he's winning lots of money. If he's in Vegas, I'm assuming he's at a casino or a sports book or something, Kevin, right?
Not sure what else you do in Vegas, except
Right.
be very hot. I was there this summer for like a week in a layover flight. It was 110 degrees on the tarmac. It was brutal. Unbelievable.
Well, it is mid-October. Like, it has to be a little bit cooler there now,
cooler,
right?
maybe.
Like, right
Yeah.
now is a good time, actually, to go to Vegas. You probably got the perfect weather. So, anyway, Sean will be back Thursday. We got a show today, and we got a show Thursday and Friday. So, I'm running the show by myself today. It's a little weird, but I guess that allows me to sit here and talk to you guys about NFL futures. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk midseason NFL future talk. And then I have two plays for the NBA tonight. And this is one reason why I wish Sean was here, because he probably would have given me something to bet on the Blackhawks tonight. But I don't bet hockey. That's one thing I don't do. Anyway, so yeah, let's do this. Kevin's got some cool graphics for us. Let's talk about NFL futures. Let's start with divisional winners. You want to bring that one up for me real quick? Okay.
Here we go.
I love Saints plus 1,100 because the Bucks are bad. They looked bad. I think that it's a great spot to take them right now. Do I think that they could, turn around their season at 2-5 right now? Well, with the division that they're in, yeah, I think that they could. They got the Raiders, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Rams, their next four. I think that they can at least win two of those games, maybe even three, because I'm not high on the Ravens. Are you high on the Ravens, Kevin?
I really do like the Ravens.
I'm not. They have blown so many games this year.
That's the thing.
And they almost blew it again on Sunday against the Browns.
Their defense has been so underwhelming this year.
Right.
It just seems like they've just in areas where you'd expect them to be much better in run defense and things like that. Everybody was like, "Oh, they had such a great draft. They filled all these holes." They have been underwhelming, but I'm still a Ravens believer. To be honest, I love the Seahawks plus 500 to win that. Can you imagine though that I love that play. Of the three on here, that's my favorite one.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Not everyone's going to agree with this, right? Like I said, I'm down on the Saints. That's because I love the Bengals at plus 170. I actually got them at plus 210 a week and a half ago. Because from what I've seen from the Bengals, especially since their Thursday night game, I can't remember who they played. It was a Thursday night game they played. Maybe it was against the Ravens. I don't know. Maybe it was the game after against the Ravens. I
can't remember.
It's just the last three or four games from the Bengals, they have really shifted me into believing in them a little bit more. And I think that out of the AFC North, only one team is going to make the playoffs. And that's why I'm down on the Ravens, because I have a bet on the Ravens to miss the playoffs, and I have a bet on the Bengals to win the AFC North. I think only one team out of the AFC North is going to win this division at this point. We are going into week 8, and I just haven't been impressed by the Ravens. They've blown so many games, and the Bengals, and this isn't against Lamar Jackson. Like, Joe Burrow is just kind of he's taking that team and carrying it. Lamar Jackson, I don't think he has, I don't like the offensive line. I really am not a big fan of the receivers. They're a run-first team, which is good, but also, I don't know what it is. Their defense, like you said, has been underwhelming, and, there's just not a lot on their team outside of Lamar Jackson that I'm I can believe in this team and, think that they can, at least win the division. So, that's why I like the Bengals at plus 170, because I think the run game's coming along, had probably its best week in the run game this week. Joe Burrow has Burrow has been very
bad week
good.
to leave Gus Edwards on your fantasy bench.
Right.
I didn't even know they were activating him.
Yeah.
Screwed that one up big.
Right. You know, and the Bengals offense probably had its best game of the year this past week. It was against the Falcons. And again, you talk about the Falcons. If you don't like the Saints, like the Falcons at like plus 275 or whatever it is, I think I saw on DraftKings, like it's not a bad play. Like the Buccaneers are so bad. They're 3-4 right now. And I understand like this is a classic Tom Brady thing where they start the season slow and then they turn it on eventually. So like, I don't blame you if you want to just avoid it, but like right now is like, it could finally be the moment where like a Tom Brady led team doesn't turn it on like most of his teams do. Like there's been a lot of distractions with that team. Like just lost to the Steelers and Carolina. They scored 3 points against Carolina.
Yeah, they just look uninspired. And
Yeah.
it's so strange to say that about a Tom Brady team, and that's why I won't have the stones to bet the Saints at 1,100 plus 1,100, but if this is the year to bet against Brady, I mean, it certainly looks like this one. This offense is in complete disarray.
Again,
they can't do anything right. Their receivers are dropping everything. I mean, it's
And I'm like, I'm not saying bet the house. I'm saying a little sprinkle. You get the Saints at plus 1,100. They're 2-5. And the thing about the Saints that gives me some hope is like they've been in like every game. Like it's not like they're going out there getting blown out. They should have beat the Vikings in London. Honestly, like if Andy Dalton doesn't throw those 2 picks against the Cardinals on Thursday night, they're in that game. They were leading that game. I just think they need to make some adjustments on how they're play calling and stuff like that, and they could mess around and be around.
Saints are fun. They're a fun team. A lot of offensive talent. They've been beat up most of the year. They're finally starting to get healthy. We might see Michael Thomas this week. I agree. I think it's worth a little sprinkle.
Right. So again, they have the Raiders, then the Ravens, who again I'm down on. We'll see. Steelers, who it's at Pittsburgh. I don't know. Like the Steelers are a scrappy team, but I just like you can't bank on them to win a game anymore. The Rams, they're kind of down. Will they be better in 4 weeks? Probably. But still, like I think it's a winnable game. That the 49ers after that, and then the Buccaneers on December 5th, which could be a big game if the Saints turn their season around. So I think there's some value at plus 1,100. Like I've been slandering the Ravens already so much in this show. Team total, I have them under 10.5. I think you get it at like plus 125. I forgot to put the odds on there for you, Kevin. Sorry. I want to say it was at plus money. You can get the under. And again, I think that the AFC North is going to get one team in the playoffs this year because the AFC East is surprisingly better than what anyone really expected, honestly. The Jets are 5-2, the Dolphins are 4-3, and the Bills are 6-1. I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of those teams get into the playoffs. I know Breece Hall just went out for the year for the Jets, but they still have that defense, and they just traded for James Robinson, who's pretty solid. He was pretty solid with the Jags until they decided to give Travis Etienne all the snaps. You know what I mean? Like I think there's value in taking the under on 10.5 because if the Ravens get in the playoffs, I think it's only through the division at this point. I think the AFC East is really shockingly good. It's weird to say. It is weird to say. And like the AFC West, like the Chargers have been underwhelming, but they're also riddled with injuries. These losses to the Seahawks, who we were just talking about, who I think there's value there, obviously. The Raiders are 2-4. The Broncos are 2-5. Had all honestly, 3 of the 4 teams in that division have been major disappointments.
I'm the exact opposite of a believer. We're talking about the NFC West right now,
I was honestly talking about the win total for the Ravens and why I think it's going under because I think only one team from that division is going to win, and most teams that win a division win 10 or more games, and it's at 10.5.
I just looked up their remaining schedule, so they have back-to-back games in primetime. Their Thursday night football against the Bucs this Thursday, then the Saints on Monday night. Those are not easy wins.
Right.
Doesn't matter if the Buccaneers have been sliding the divisional games. Panthers, Jaguars,
They should be
Broncos.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's not a bad bet under 10.5. You said plus 125?
Yeah, I think that's on DraftKings. It's plus 125.
Yeah, it's a tough division. A lot of division games left. That's not.
They got to go to the Browns, who they just beat by 3 at home. Honestly, should have won by more, but almost blew it. They scathed away from that one. I don't know. And that goes with my Ravens to miss the playoffs at plus 350. Like it's a toss-up, again, they are a good team, but like there's just something about them that makes it hard to trust. There really is something about it, and I trust the Bengals a little bit more. And again, I think that the AFC East could potentially have 3 teams make the playoffs. That means those 2, the Jets or the Dolphins, or both, obviously. Maybe the Patriots get it together. I don't know. After last night, I don't know. But the Jets and the Dolphins, both winning records right now. If they keep playing well, Tua stays healthy for the Dolphins, they might be the 2 wild card teams. You know what I mean? Like, and then the Bills are going to win that division. You know what I mean?
Like, the Bills are, they're the best team in the league.
That's why I'm kind of feeling right now like the AFC East could have 3 teams. Then you got the Chiefs, you got the Bengals, and the Titans.
I'd like to see a little bit more of the Jets before I make that call, but I mean, their rookies have come on in a fury and they've been performing. They run the ball well, the James Robinson trade that you mentioned. I mean, their offense is set up for success. They still have a lot of questions at quarterback. Zach Wilson is far from a completed product. He makes a lot of mistakes still. But you're right. I think the Dolphins are a playoff team this year. They've shown enough to where, again, I don't think Tua is great. I think their play calling. I think everything around him sets them up to be a playoff team.
They have a good run game too.
Patriots absolutely not a playoff team. No shot. I mean, they have a quarterback.
They looked pretty bad last night, right?
Yeah. Even excluding that, they're any team with a quarterback controversy. You're usually not a playoff team, so I can exclude them. But I like that. I like the 3 teams to the AFC from that division to make it. I could see it totally.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're not thinking I'm just like a complete moron here. That's cool. I mean, the Chargers 4-3, they certainly could. You know, their big thing is health. I mean, they're going to lose J.C. Jackson for the rest of the year now. I'm pretty sure.
Mike Williams for the next 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
too.
like they like injury after injury after injury for that team, and like I feel like it sucks for a guy like Justin Herbert, but they just lost. They got blown out at home. I know Los Angeles Chargers home field advantage is no such thing, but like they just got blown out by the Seahawks, and like
Seahawks got something to prove, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to become a believer. That's kind of why I like them to perhaps maybe win that NFC West. Because I like Pete Carroll. Like, he's a good coach, and he's just putting the team in a good position to win. It's very wild to think about. But, yeah, so like I said, I like the Ravens to miss the playoffs at plus 350. Again, I'm looking at all things as like a solid, like, perhaps flyer. You know, I'm not going to – like, there's plenty of them where I could tell you, the – Giants to make the playoffs at minus 300. Like, yeah, that's going to happen. If you took the bet literally week 1, then you're sitting pretty and you're probably feeling like the smartest man in the room, right? I'm just trying to give you some flyers that maybe have some value in it. Maybe, sprinkle a little on and you're feeling good about it, right?
Giants might be the most fraudulent team in the NFL. They might be 6-1, but I'm not a believer in them at all. They run the ball really well. Do you have it offhand? What's the Bears line to make the postseason right now? Because the NFC is wide open.
1,600. Plus 1,600 for the Bears to make the playoffs. I don't know.
I don't think I'm taking it. But
you're down on the Giants, even though they're 6-1. But I mean, they've had some impressive wins. They got a good coach. I mean, they have a coach that. Yeah. It sounds so cliche, and we hear this on every sports station in town all the time. It's, why can't an NFL coach cater to what his quarterback does well? That's exactly what Brian Dable's doing. They're having success. That's right. And that's the key to the NFL, and they have a great running game. Saquon is back to full health, and he's a top 3 running back in the league when he's healthy, but offensively, the weapons aren't there. Defensively, I'm not a believer. So yeah, I mean, it's like Saquon or bust with that team, right?
Yeah. He goes as they go.
If they could figure out their passing game a little bit, then yeah. I mean, I liked the Jags this past week against them, and they led for most of the game, and then it's like when the fourth quarter comes around, like the Giants have figured it out. They beat the Packers, right? Yeah, they beat the Packers.
They did. That was the London game, I believe.
Yeah, it was the London game. They trailed early in that one, but yeah, they just figure it out in the second half of these games. So they're really good at making adjustments. Their defense is solid. I think their defense is the big part of why they're 6-1, more so than honestly what they're doing on offense. But yeah, no, when I switch over to the NFC, you're talking about teams that miss or make the playoffs. I mean, it's wide open, like you said. Like there's no real safe bet.
This has been such a mediocre NFL this year.
Sure.
There's two teams that are highly above the rest. They're both in the AFC, Chiefs and Bills. That's it. Everybody else is mid.
Eagles are 6-0. Like they deserve some credit for being good. I think they got something going.
They're a good
there.
team.
Yeah.
Good team, but they're not in the Bills Chiefs category.
No, definitely not. Well, and that's because we just haven't seen enough, right? Like we've seen the Bills and the Chiefs go at it in the playoffs the last couple of years. Eagles, they make the playoffs because of expanded playoffs last year. Jalen Hurts so far through 6 games has taken a big step.
Yeah,
you know,
he's just not like they don't have the elite playmakers on that side of the ball.
Right.
I think AJ Brown is a very good player, Pro Bowl wide receiver. I think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. But as for putting him in that category yet, no.
Yeah. What other ones do I have?
I got Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. Okay.
Robert Saleh.
Robert Saleh. Plus 1,000. Again, we're talking about value. 5-2 Jets, man. And Nick Sirianni leads right now. He's like plus 125. He has the highest or the lowest odds, whatever, at winning Coach of the Year. I actually placed a bet on Doug Peterson like after week 2, and that's not looking good for me right now. But you know, the Jags have kind of faltered a little bit. I got on the hype train for a little bit. But the Jets, 5-2. They beat the Broncos and Denver. They beat the Packers at Lambeau. I know Breece Hall is a big part of it. I understand it. Their defense is great. Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams, like they have been really good. And yeah, they could be fraudulent, and yeah, they could come down to earth some, but like I don't know, like I like the way they're playing football.
They play hard.
And the Jets have been so bad for so long. If the Jets like fuck around and make the playoffs, like I could see the NFL giving Robert Saleh the Coach of the Year just for that.
I could see Pete Carroll too in this conversation. He'd be another guy I would look at.
Right.
Obviously, Sirianni leading the way. Your team's undefeated. You're going to win Coach of the Year. They're not going to go undefeated this season, but you know that's. I really didn't think too much about the Jets. I like that plus 1,000 for Saleh.
Yeah.
Your MVP one, I'm not.
Jalen Hurts at plus 500. I think Josh Allen's going to win MVP, but again, I'm talking about value. I think getting Hurts at plus 500, considering what we've seen at this point, who knows? Like, I think Josh Allen has set himself up perfectly to win the MVP at this point. The Bills are a wagon, and you can still get him at plus 120, but it's not much juice. Like
there's a little bit there, yeah.
A little bit, but not a ton. I think Josh Allen's going to win MVP. Like he is something, man. Like I dream of Justin Fields being 3/4 of what Josh Allen is, right? Like he's been that good. But again, Jalen Hurts in Philly taking this team and he himself has taken a major step forward as a quarterback. And he's a big reason why they're 6-0, in my opinion. So at plus 500 still.
Yeah, the value is certainly the value is there. And if you talk about an undefeated football team, people love those types of stories. Writers love those types of stories. That's where the votes come from. You get to if they get to 10, 11-0 and you got them at plus 500, you're looking pretty good. But you're right. I mean, Josh Allen, he's been the best player in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
And it's
not even really close.
There's some guys that maybe could rival that. Mahomes has obviously been great.
Mm-hmm.
But Josh Allen is just dude is a freak, man.
Yeah.
And he's gonna win. He's gonna win MVP if they're healthy, because that's the best team in the league by a wide margin right now.
For sure. I again looking at value, but yeah, I think getting Josh Allen right now, like you better do it now, because eventually it's going to be minus. Like it's going to be minus 300 in another 2 weeks if the Bills, especially if the Bills destroy the Packers this coming weekend and whoever they got next. Like if the Bills continue to just win, it's like right now is the time to get Josh Allen. If you haven't placed the bet yet, just do it. I know no one like that. There's no value, no real value in it, plus 120. But I think it's the most sensible future bet, the one that's more than likely you're probably gonna get, because the Bills it's unreal how good they are at this point.
Here's my other two futures that I think are locks.
Okay,
Chris
tier.
Olave, offensive rookie of the year.
Plus 800, yes.
I mean,
I like it.
I'm
about
telling
it.
you, watch him play. He's the best wide receiver on that team.
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
I know.
for
I know
sure.
Michael Thomas is great and he doesn't drop anything. Chris Olave's skill and route running ability and putting him in and outside. I mean, the dude. He's not their best offensive player. Alvin Kamara is still their best offensive player, but Olave is their best receiver. He's going to win offensive rookie of the year. I love that bet. And talking Bills Packers, Bills plus 10 or minus 10.5. They're gonna beat them by 2 scores.
Oh, so that's just your pick for this weekend, huh?
That is my pick. The Packers are in complete disarray. They're gonna be on the road in prime time. They got problems up the wazoo. Josh Allen they're gonna get smoked.
I do. At this moment, I do like the Bills winning by 2 scores. Yes,
Yeah,
I do like it. I'm not placing that bet though yet. I'm waiting to see if some money on the Packers come in because so many people on the public, especially, have to think that the Packers are going to figure out. Aaron Rodgers is going to figure it out. I would not be surprised if that comes down to 9. So,
Bills have a great run defense. You take away the run defense, you take away the running game from the Packers. I mean, offensively, Rodgers can do a lot. He can still put the ball wherever he wants. But the problem is the drops and the route running has been
bad,
mediocre to bad.
It's mainly been bad.
No Cobb, he's out for a while.
You can get the Packers to win the Packers to win the NFC North at plus 500 now. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah,
how the mighty have fallen. They were huge favorites to win the NFC North coming into the year. Now the Vikings are the main favorite. I think the Bears are like plus 6,000 to win the NFC North. Like, listen, I looked at the schedule last night, 3 hours after they beat the Patriots, and I was like, they could win another 5 games. Like, realistically, I think they could win another 5 games. That gives them 8 wins.
So the Bears have the second hardest schedule to end the year, but that counts yesterday, and they beat the Patriots. So you're right. It's possible. They beat the Cowboys. Talk to me next week.
Yeah, talk to me next week.
Cowboys are a really good team.
Yeah, wait on the Bears because you're still gonna get decent value if they do beat the Cowboys. Yeah, the thing about the Vikings, or the thing about that division that gives me some hope that maybe the Bears could like just really shock the world is that, like, how many years have we seen the Vikings start out like, I don't know, 5-2 or 6 or 5-1 this year or 6-2 or something like that,
Yeah,
and then they end up going.
Exit.
Well, either first round exit or they end up going like 9-7, or before the extra game is added, or I guess in this, like they barely get in or something. Like there's always that second half like struggle, you know what I mean, of the season. And their offense is great, their defense is sus in my opinion.
My counter argument to that is just new coaching staff.
Yeah,
O'Connell's done a really nice job unlocking what they do. But again, you're right. It could be maybe it's a Minnesota thing. Who knows? I'd like them to win the North pretty outright, though. I mean, they're clearly the most talented team, 1 through 52 of those 4 teams. Yeah. So
now you said you're down on the Giants, so perhaps if the Bears do win next week, move to 4-4, and perhaps the Giants lose, Bears make playoffs in the wild card.
It's going to be tough because the Bears have been so bad in the NFC. They lost the Commanders and the Giants already. That New England game is great. People are like, oh, it's a great win, but it's not a conference win, which really sucks when it's going to come down to seeding because, if the Bears continue to play well and find themselves in that mix, I'm going to have to say no to the playoffs. I mean, they've lost 2 games that they should have won in the conference.
That's for sure. That's just getting your
I know. I'm trying to get excited about it, but I can't.
All right. I got 2 plays on the NBA tonight. I'm going to get to them after I read this DraftKings ad once I find it on my computer here. Where is it? Do you have it by chance, Kevin? I thought I had it up, and I do not.
Check. I do not. Let me.
Lord. Well, this was poorly planned by myself. I'm bringing it up right now.
You could always just give them your best impulse ad read right now. Who cares?
Well, no, I have to actually read the DraftKings ad, guys. Here we go. I think I got, no, this is the wrong ones. I thought I had it up on CHGO Cubs Notion, and it's not there. Hold on. Let's see here. Looking at overall calendar. Oh my God, it's not there. Here. Is it in the Bears one? It's not.
Well, while you're looking for that, we'll talk a little bit more about some NFL futures. As we kind of mentioned earlier, I am a big proponent of. Let's take a look at these divisional futures. So first of all, Saints at plus 1,100 is interesting to me because I think that they, coming into this season, they're not the same without Sean Payton, clearly. They've been injured and riddled with injuries on offense. Alvin Kamara's finally looking like Alvin Kamara again, but they've been without Michael Thomas. Chris Olave's coming in a pinch. But again, they got a quarterback issue. They're not sure if they want to start Jameis. They're not sure if they want to go with Andy Dalton. So teams like that normally don't make the postseason, normally don't end up winning their division. So I'm out on the plus 1,100. I think the value is there just because of how poor the Buccaneers have played this season. Their offense has just been inept, which is crazy to think about because they've been relatively healthy. I mean, Chris Godwin has missed a couple weeks here, but he's back to looking normal. Mike Evans has been there. Julio Jones was supposed to be their wide receiver 3, but you can't tell me he was going to be a pivotal part of this team this year. He's missed pretty much the whole season except for weeks 1 and 2. I'm still taking the Bucs to win that division. Bengals at plus 170. I think it's a two-headed race for that division right now. I think the Browns have a great running game. I think offensively they can be right there in a picture to win it, but right now it's Bengals and Ravens. So Bengals at plus 170 is it's a safe bet just because they've been so safe on offense. And then obviously I've said this earlier, I think Seahawks is my favorite bet at plus 500. Playing with house money. Geno Smith people call me crazy. Geno Smith has been a top 5, top 6 quarterback in the NFL this year. He has been fantastic. He's keeping the ball. He's making the right decisions. I don't like Pete Carroll at all, but he's done a very nice job there. I've already taken Seahawks plus 500 since you put this up here. So I'm a fan. That division is fraudulent right now. A lot of injuries, a lot of coaching inept. I almost said ineptcies. I don't think that's a word, but it really is a division of being very faulty this year. So I like that.
I found the ad. I found the ad read, Kevin. I found it. Okay. NBA fans. I said I got two picks coming up, all right? NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back. So tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You can bet. I bet Ja Morant to win MVP the other day after he put up a 49-piece against, I don't remember who it was, but I watched highlights of him dropping 49. I was like, MVP. I know everyone's on Luka. I love Ja Morant. I got it at plus 900. I regret not taking it a few days before when it was plus 1,500. Anyway, new customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. So if you sign up, put $5 on whoever to win, you get $200 in free bets. You can put that $200 on Ja Morant to win NBA MVP if you want. I mean, whatever. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings Stepped Up Same Game Parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a Stepped Up Same Game Parlay today with payouts bigger than ever. DraftKings Sportsbook is where to go to bet on the NBA. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code CHGO. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code CHGO. All right.
Well done.
Thank you. Sorry to everyone who was like waiting, but we figured it out. All right. All right. 2 bets tonight. Okay. I'm bringing it up. Sorry. Wizards -6 against the Pistons. Wizards actually impressed me a little bit against the Bulls over the weekend or before the weekend. Wizards won 102-100. The Pistons have kind of struggled on offense to start the year. They have not shot the ball well. And so I kind of like the Wizards tonight. It was at 5.5 like an hour ago. I got it at 6. So some money's coming in on the Wizards. For an NBA play tonight, I feel safe. I just think I do think the Pistons team could be could make a spot for that play-in by the end of the year. But right now they're young. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. I love Jaden Ivey. He is, as a guy who watches a lot of Big Ten basketball, the guy was a stud in the Big Ten last year. I think he's going to be a great Ja Morant type player in the NBA one day. And he's played well to start the year. He had 19 points, 10 rebounds the other day, first double of his career. I'm taking the Wizards -6 though, because I like how they're playing right now. I came up with a same game parlay, just talking about Jaden Ivey, points, rebounds, assists, 25 plus points, rebounds, and assists. He's gone over 15 points in all 3 of his games so far. Had 10 rebounds the other night, and he's gone over 5 assists in every game that he has played in. I think there might one of those 3 he might have only got 4 assists, but either way, 25 plus for all 3 of those. I think that's doable. Kyle Kuzma over 16.5 points. He's gone over 20 in 2 of the 3 games. He only had 11 the last game against the Cavs. Still shot 4 of 8 from the field. I think that the way that game went, he just didn't play a lot. So I think he goes over 16.5. And then Kristaps Porzingis over 6.5 rebounds. He's gone double digits 2 of the first 3 games. There's a little boost on DraftKings today. If you opt in, I think you get I think it's a 20% profit boost. I use that on this parlay. You get it at plus 468. It's at plus 390. You can get it at plus 468. So Jaden Ivey, points, rebounds, and assists. Kyle Kuzma over 16.5, and Porzingis over 6.5. Again, Ivy is 25 plus. So I think that's doable. What do you think?
I haven't watched a ton of the Pistons this year. I know I said this going into the draft. Jaden Ivey was the most NBA-ready player. I know Paolo appears to be the most NBA-ready player out of that draft. The Pistons aren't going to make the playoffs this year. I know that.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think the East is too tough. But I'm very afraid of what Jaden Ivey is going to be. I don't mind that play at all. Kuzma, hit or miss. It's a bet that I've lost on before. I like to bet over under 3-point percentages a lot, or 3-point attempts and makes. Yep. Yeah. So Kuzma played well against the Bulls. I don't know if I'm taking it, but that's just for me. I'm not sure. I don't mind. I would take Washington over Detroit though. Yeah, for sure. Washington's a pretty good team.
Yeah, at 6 points, I think that it's fair. And I read that Washington is 7-0 against the spread their last 7 home games.
There you go.
Well, like 7-0-1.
Trust the science.
They pushed against the Bulls the other night, but the 7 before that they had covered. So I like that trend. You talked about Kyle Kuzma, how you don't feel great about it. At home, Kyle Kuzma is averaging 26 points per game. That's just this year, obviously. So he on the road, 16.5. They're at home, though, so he's played well in the 2 home games. Small sample size, of course. But, for some reason, I just think he's found a nice home there in Washington. So I like him on the points.
Lights are a little dimmer in Washington.
Yeah.
Not so much pressure on you all the time.
Right. I think that he's a lot better player than what a lot of people give him credit for.
Very good 3-and-D player. Yeah. Not very good. I would say above average 3-and-D player. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I will I'm going to ride that parlay. Let me know. Tweet at me at Cody_CHGO. If you're riding that parlay, I'll tweet it out anyway. But make sure you're following the Bets account on Twitter, CHGO_bets. Follow Sean at Sean_W_Anderson. I believe that's correct.
That is correct.
Look at me. Sean will be back on Thursday. We'll be probably talking about college football. And then Friday we'll probably do full slate NFL for week 8. I'm excited about it already. It's only Tuesday, guys. So thanks. I see Jack R has tuned into the show a little late. I see all your comments, man. Thanks for tuning in as always. Kevin, anything else, man?
World Series bet?
World Series bet.
Friday. I know it's early. Just a quick one.
I took Astros in 4 at plus 550.
Took them to sweep. That would be insane. An undefeated postseason. I got the Astros in 5, but I don't think I think the Phillies will sneak one out. Offense has been great.
It has been great, and the pitching's been good as well. We'll talk a little bit more on the World Series probably too, either Thursday or Friday as well. So I didn't want to do it without Sean. But yeah, no, there's something about this Astros team, and I feel like the magic for the Phillies is finally going to run out. So we'll see. But anyway, we will see you on Thursday when we are millionaires and probably on a boat. Maybe not a boat.